are circling, block, and someone said cover, which is basically block, but it's from the back side. Cover is a term that is used for DPT or block. People use different terms for it. First, we'll go over block since that one was more requested than circle. Block and circle are pretty close in training wise, mainly because you're still learning the dog to go to different parts. For block, Madison, come here, get up. Come on, good girl. For block, you want to have the dog stand, block. Good girl, good block. And that's a block there. So she's blocking me from the front. If I wanted her to block me from the back, I would do the same thing from the back. Let her chew that. She's the world's longest treat eater. I'm used to my lab who kind of just swallows and doesn't chew at all. All right, over here, hey. Block, good girl. So if you wanted them to stand behind you, you could tell them to block here. Typically in a block, people have them stand, but if you wanted them to sit behind you or lay down behind you, that's fine too. Or if the dog just decides to lay down, it's okay as long as they're still doing what they're supposed to do and stay in that area. Then side, good girl. So I teach her side blocking. She would usually be standing the other way. So you can do them either way, whichever one's more comfortable, or if you just want them to face whatever side the person's closest to. So if a person was right here and you want to face forward, you can train them either way. It just depends on your preference and what you need. If you want the dog to stand this way, that's fine, or this way, that's fine. For in front of you, just there, block, good girl. And once they get this down and they do stand there, that's when you can start doing it from different spots. You can tell them, block, come here, block. So she actually doesn't know this yet, so I'm still gonna learn her. Block, good girl, and that's good enough. I'm not worried about it being straight right now because she's still learning this. She's still on that first step of getting down what that means. You can also, some people are like, I don't feel comfortable with my dog just standing behind me. You can teach them center. Actually, I'm gonna pull this up for her. Asking. Center. Here. Good girl, center. So what this is she's standing or sitting depending on, I don't really care as long as she's staying here. I'll have her block from here so she's watching my sides, but she's in between me, which makes me feel more safe, and it makes me feel like she's less likely to get hurt by someone else. And then you can do a backwards block to watch your backside. So I just tell her back. She's still learning this one. Asking. Back. Good girl. So in that way, they're not on their own behind you, so you don't feel as uncomfortable with your dog just being back there by themselves. You still know where they're at. You can still see them and feel them there, and they're still blocking and still watching your back. Because I did see a few people say that. So really it just depends on your needs when it comes to block. If you want them standing, sitting, laying down, that's up to you. If you want them in between your legs instead of just laying behind you or sitting behind you, that's fine. It's really up to you and your preference because this is a task you're training them to do for your safety and for you to feel comfortable. So you want to do it in a way that makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel safe.
Hey guys, it's me. So I forgot to add that you eventually want to start having someone stand there and then giving the command block so that they understand that block means to block you from people. So like someone that the dog knows is a good way to start. You don't want to start this really young before you started socialization because it can teach the dog to protect you, and you don't want a protective service dog. You just want a service dog that's willing to just stand there to block people from getting too close to you. So don't start this before socialization is over. Start that when they're completely socialized and completely good with other people, and then you can start having people stand there and then ask them to block from you.
So now we'll go over circling. This is the only other bit in this video because these are the only two that can really mash together and it makes sense. So circling is a lot like blocking. It's going to be a lot of the similar things. It's leading your dog around you. I would recommend not using a leash, or if you like, you can leave a leash on your dog, but you're going to have to drop it. That way you still have control. If the dog does try to get away, you can step on the leash. So you still have control, but it's going to be a lot harder if you're holding the leash because you're going to have to you kind of have to do this. So, Madison, come here. Circle. So she's never learned this before. So this is new to her. So you're watching her do it. It's pretty easy for a dog to pick up on though, because you're literally just saying go around you. And you want to treat when they get to where they started. So you usually would start this from a heel And this is usually a crowd control thing. So you would start them from heel and say circle, circle. And then you want to treat them again right when they get back to that heel position so that they understand that they have to go all the way around. And then you can start doing doubles. Circle. Come on. Where are you going? Hey, circle. Circle. I'm tripping. Come on, circle. Good girl. I tripped over the leash. That's fine. She still kept going, so good on her. But then you can start doing doubles and things like that if you're usually going to be using it more than once. But you want to make sure you're treating as soon as they get back to the spot that they started in. And then if you're wanting it while you're walking, you want to make sure they have it down first when you're sitting. Circle. Good girl. Or when you're standing. So you want to make sure they have that down first when you're standing still, and then you can start doing it when you're moving really slow. Come here. Circle. Circle. Good girl. And you want to move really slow so they're not trying to watch for your feet right away, and you're not just going circle, circle, because that's going to be really hard for a dog that's just learning a new task to understand. So you want to start really, really slow so that they can understand that when you're walking, they have to make that circle a little bit bigger to give you some room to walk. Come here. And you want to make sure that they do have it down when you're standing still, because that's going to be the easiest part for them to learn. If they can't learn that part, it's going to be really hard for them to learn to do it while you're walking. So you want to make sure they have it down while you're standing still, and then make sure they have it down while you're walking slower, and then you can start picking up pace, having them do more than one circle at a time. You just want to really make sure that you get all that down. Mazikeen, circle, circle. Good girl. So she's a quick learner. She'll learn these things pretty fast, which I got lucky with. Not everyone's going to be that way, so don't expect your dog to get it down in one session like this. I swear she really has never learned this. I never taught her this, but she also really likes to do circles, so it would make sense that she's enjoying this a lot. What are you doing? Stop eating that. So yeah, basically you just want to make sure they have it down when standing. It's a lot like teaching them to block, or cover, whatever term you end up using. Cover is just doing it from the back, and when you're teaching cover, as I said in the first video, you're just pulling them here, and that's a block. That's just a block from behind. So just a quick overview. Block, lure them to the position you want, tell them to block, and have them stand there. You can start delaying the treat eventually so that they know they're gonna have to stand there for a while. Or you do a backwards block. If you don't feel comfortable with your dog laying by itself, you can have them do it from in between your legs. I have my dogs do it from in between the legs just so I know that they're safe and I know that they're right there. It just makes me feel better. So you can have them block forward this way or backward this way. You want to lure just like this through the legs, or this way through the legs. She knows those pretty well. And then for circle, you just want to lure them around you, and you want to start when you're standing still, slowly work into walking, and then you can work into doing more than one circle at a time, because you never know when they may need to do that. And then you can also start picking up the pace once they have it down at a slower walk in when you're standing still.
It's me again editing this. So someone brought up that they wanted their dog to circle pretty far away from them, about a foot away from them. And I didn't go over that in this video, but I do plan to do more in-depth videos of each of them. So right now this is the basics, but I will say if you're wanting the dog to go out further, start slow and just slowly get them to go a little bit out further and luring them about 2 inches away at a time. And then you can start using a barrier to get them to go even further out, or if your dog's pretty good about just staying in one pretty even circle, you can just use a leash to get them out to a foot away from you and get them to circle from out there, kind of like you would with a horse, and get them to go around in circles. That's what you're going to do with your dog. If they need barriers though, that's fine. You can also just use like your foot if you need to. Just put your leg out and follow them around so they don't come in more. That's what I would recommend if you're wanting the dog to go out.
Makes sense. There will be another video. That one should be posted, I think it's Monday. Monday that one's going to be posted, so the next video should be posted on Monday for you guys. Or if you're struggling, let me know in the comments, and I'll go ahead and find another technique that works for you and your dog, because not every technique is going to work for every single dog. Not every style of training is going to work for every different dog. So it's perfectly normal if you're struggling with this technique. I'm not going to be offended by that, because every dog is different, and that's totally okay. If I left anything out, leave a comment down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm sure I left something out. I'm kind of rushing through these because I always do them at night when the bugs are out more. Don't know why, but that's just what ended up happening, and the bugs are just eating me alive when I do these videos. So I need to start doing them in the morning, but if I did leave anything out, leave a comment and I'll reply back. I always do, or I always try to. If you're uncomfortable with talking to me about these techniques not working for you, that's perfectly okay to go to someone else. I'm not going to get offended. If you subscribe to me, that's not a contract saying you have to do only my videos and you have to only talk to me about training. I don't have a contract with you guys. I'm just giving you some tips on what I usually use and what typically works for my clients' dogs and my dogs. I think that's it. So again, anything that you have to say, leave in the comments or message me personally, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We love you guys.